everybody. This is Jeff Veale, the business guru, coming to you once again, yes, from downtown Manila. Morning time for me and evening time for most of my guests, because most of my guests tend to come from the United States. Not all of them, but most of them. It's a big place, the United States. My guest today is a very, very interesting woman. She's left her corporate life and she's found her calling. She's now got her passion. And when you've got a passion, guys, you haven't got a job. Think about that. You don't have a job anymore. You've got a calling, a passion. You get out of bed every morning, you want to go to work. And you can work from home, you can work in your dressing gown, whatever. It's just fun, you know. Go and have something to eat from the fridge whenever you want to, coffee whenever you want to. No one telling you what to do. A lot of fun, guys. Trust me, it is. My guest today is a lovely lady by the name of Toni Lynn Packus, and she's a founder of BeHeard BeHealed Studios. Certified lead advancement, lead facilitator, board certified mental health professional, certified facilitator, 5 languages of appreciation of work. Now I'm going to come on and tell you a bit more. Company name, of course, BeHeard BeHealed Studios. And she's the sort of lady that can help you guys. If you need some help, reach out. She's only a cup of coffee away, a virtual cup of coffee. Jump on a call, have a chat, and you never know where it might lead to. The industry she's involved in, she's involved very heavily in the mental health and wellness and mentoring and training space. And one of her backgrounds is she was a whiz kid at putting together virtual events. So guys, virtual events are becoming a big thing these days. So if you need some help with your virtual events and want someone in the background to make sure it runs smoothly, then Toni's the lady for you. So reach out to her and have a chat about that. She's been in the industry combined in both of those fields for kept coming close on 20 years, right? Brief description, BeHeard BeHealed Studios helps individuals and organizations create powerful healing spaces. And we all need some sort of healing at some stage, guys, virtually and in person. From expert virtual events productions, which she does on the size I was telling you, the language of appreciation and training, we offer trauma-informed coaching and mentoring to empower people to share their message and virtually find themselves again, guys. That's what she helps you do. Expanding the reach for her training and refreshing, produces large-scale national and global virtual events, and that's one of her skill sets, as I was saying earlier. And have a look here. Her personal motto says it all: be heard and be healed. So reach out to this lady, guys, and be heard. You know, like I say, a virtual cup of coffee. Take my word for this, guys. A lot of you don't. A virtual cup of coffee is what it is. It costs you nothing, just some of your time. Reach out, have a chat. Never know where it might take you, right? You've got someone at the other end of the phone who's a great listener, right? I'm a great talker, right? I can talk out the water. But this lady's a great listener. Big difference, right? And I'm not who the world says I am. I'm who God created me to be. It's awesome. I help others rediscover their true identity, not through trauma, but through God's love. Healing isn't just personal, it's generational. And she'll explain all that to you when you have a chat. And when we heal, we change the past on. That's the truth, guys. You know, if you've had some bad experiences, you can get healed. You'll be a better person for it, obviously, and you can pass that message on to others. Interesting fact. There's definitely more interesting facts than this, but here's one for you to know. My business was born on my kitchen table with an open Bible, open arms, and an open mind. I like that open mind part. That's awesome, right? I walked away from a corporate job she once prayed for to start building something more meaningful. One prayer, one purpose, and one purpose at a time. Pretty awesome. So it's my great pleasure to welcome today to the stage. I'm going to scroll back up to my old man with ADD, Toni. It's evening time for her. How are you, Toni?
I'm great. How are you?
Going awesome. Awesome. I had a great start today. Flying. Everything's going fantastic for me. Okay.
Awesome.
Let's get the show underway. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue your current career path. What happened?
So I became an empty nester in 2019 and didn't really realize at that point that I lived for everybody but me. So I started this journey of healing and, worked in corporate.
We're cleaning up the kids' bedrooms anymore or making dinner for
everybody. No. And I'm like, well, and we're making sure everybody got to where they needed to be and, making sure everybody's up and off and at them, right? And so my daughter was only 19, but I was like not ready for that. And so it gave me time to look inside and figure out I don't even know who I am or what I like or what makes me happy.
Sure.
And so I just was like, I started healing all these wounds to get to the bottom of that. And like, why do I people please all the time? And so it took a few years of doing that healing. And then in December, I was on vacation and I just literally sat down with my Bible open at the kitchen table and just said, okay, for 2025, God, what do you want me to do? And literally quit my job was the first thing. And that is not normal, right? Nobody just decides to quit their job. But the work I was doing in virtual events, in creating spaces for people to come together virtually and in person and heal some of those wounds and connect in a way that made them feel in person. I just was like, I can still do this. I can do this work and I can do it in a way that I can incorporate the things that people need and not be restricted by corporate laws or
without the bullshit
rules or guidelines.
It can be real.
Yeah.
That's without the bullshit.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
What's been the most challenging aspect so far of your new position, of your work, and how are you overcoming that? What's been the most challenging part of it all?
I think letting go of the structure and I am someone who I know what I need to do and I want to do that. I don't like the organization and like all of that stuff is just not my cup of tea. I just want to do the work. And so finding the balance between leaving that behind. I mean, I'm 52 years old. I've worked most of my life since I was 14. So working for someone else is all I've ever known. And so I kind of feel like I have to pretend I'm still reporting to a CEO. So that's kind of what helps me.
Yeah, I'll get up in the morning, put the lipstick on, have a look in the mirror, make sure you look good, and away we go.
Yeah. For sure.
Tell me, what was that defining moment for you? Tell us that moment in your career that changed your direction. How did it all come about? Do you think about it for a long time, or it was sort of an overnight thing? What happened?
So in 2009, I got the BeHeard BeHealed idea. I just had that dropped in my lap as I was going to school. I was in college doing it online and I didn't know what it was about. I didn't know what it was for. And then I think it was just finding my voice. Yeah, I think it was finding my voice all these years. And then in 2024, I suffered significant losses in my life. My daughter had to have a second back surgery, which wrecked me at the beginning of the year. And then I lost my mother-in-law in March. I lost my beloved dog, just suddenly found out she had cancer, and I drove home from Ottawa, Canada to say goodbye. And then in November, I lost my father-in-law. So in the process of that, my grandson was also born. Yeah. So in August, my grandson was born. And one of the things that I wanted to do was when my daughter-in-law went back to work, I wanted to watch him as much as I could. And so I knew that leaving my job was going to be part of that and going off and building a legacy for my family.
Legacy, I love that word.
Yeah. It was that entire year. So when I sat there at my table on vacation and I just really started to think about what 2025 was going to look like, it started January 6th. I had to give my notice when I went back to work.
I love that you made the leap. So many people out there watching this, you don't make that leap. What's the worst that can happen, girl? Yeah. What's the worst that can happen?
I got to get another job.
Yeah. You can go back to a soul-sucking job any old time. You always get, if you're talented, you can always get a job. But it's so much fun when you work with yourself and for yourself. It's so much more fun. Tell me, what are the key qualities or skills? You're obviously very successful at what you do. What are those skills that have contributed to your success? What do you put it all down to? What are your superpowers?
I really think it's just being authentic. I think there's a lot of people that need to put on masks. And I don't know how to do that. I think part of the thing that got me in trouble in corporate America was I couldn't wear the mask.
How dare you have an opinion?
It wasn't even an opinion. It was just showing up and being real. I didn't know how to fake or put a poker face on. I still don't. Some people wish I would. And I think it's missing in the world. I think authenticity is missing in a lot of relationships. And so and I think that's one of the things that makes it so people feel connected when we're in virtual spaces.
Yeah, well, you'll find your tribe, guys. I tell people I'm the Gordon Ramsay of marketing with the same foul mouth because it's who I am, right? I find everybody likes me, not everybody matters. You know? So you find your tribe, you find your depth, right? Tell me, what's your secret? How do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your field like you've been doing?
I have a lot of great supporters. So one of the things that I do is I teach people how to write a wellness recovery action plan. Yeah. And in that, you figure out who your supporters are, you figure out what your stressors and triggers are, and you create action plans for when those things happen. And so that really is what has worked for me. And so also when my grandson smiles or whenever I'm having a bad day, I just ask one of my kids to send me a picture of my grandson or a video. And it literally is like the lifeblood of my life right now. Yeah, and so I watch him every Monday and then on Thursdays when I can. So he'll be here tomorrow.
Awesome.
And I get to be with him.
Yeah, you're part of your cheer squad. Tell us about a recent project or achievement that you're particularly proud of. You've got a few, but tell us something you've done recently you're pretty proud of.
So I think the thing that not only catapulted me into wanting to go off on my own is something I'm really proud of is taking the RAP program that was strictly taught in person before COVID.
Yes.
The workshops were always in person, and I helped the company that I worked for expand that, right? So we went from doing 1 or 2 a year to doing 3 to 5, maybe 10, to doing 33 last year. And I personally co-facilitated and produced 28 of them. And we reached over 400 people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
So you've reinvented it, which is awesome. You tap these things up in the online world. What advice would you give someone who wanted to follow in your footsteps? What a younger version of yourself? What would you tell them?
Don't wait. Don't wait for everything to fall into place. Don't wait till I still tell myself this. Don't wait until everything's lined up. Don't wait to the web. Don't worry about the website. Don't worry about all of these things. Just you have a gift. You have a purpose, right? Each one of us has this reason that we're here. And if you prolong, you won't miss out on what you're meant to do. But the more you wait, I just think of all the people.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, all the people I could have reached if I didn't wait.
Yeah, interesting. I love his perspective on all that. Looking ahead, what are your goals and aspirations moving forward?
So I'm actually looking to not only we have a few contracts that we're working on, but one of the things that I want to be able to do is in addition to doing the contract work and expanding, I'm actually working with Dr. Paul White on expanding the 5 languages of appreciation at work. As a facilitator for them, I will be able to, I want to look at how they're doing things virtually and reaching organizations that have hybrid staff. And that's one of the things that I want to work on. But also I want to reach organizations that support young children or teenagers. There's an organization called Timothy Hill in Arkansas, and I think they have a location in New York. They're going to start one in Louisiana. They have a place in Massachusetts, and I want to bring RAP and other mental health resources to those organizations, things like that, because there's not a lot of resources for it. And if someone was there to help my kids who grew up without dads,
I'm just thinking about that for a moment. It's like the Bermuda Triangle. Like your kid's about 12 and he's yes, mum, no, mum. Then 13. Why should I do that, mum? Like the Bermuda Triangle, they get lost for a few years, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, but especially if you have a parent missing, if you have an absent parent or both parents, then you really are out. You end up in trouble and you end up in the wrong path. And I think if people were equipped better to deal with their own feelings and be able to express themselves, be heard, be healed, find your voice, find that strength and move, life's not going to get easier. So figure out how to handle it and just deal with what comes your way and be supported and be equipped to really face things.
I don't care who you are, whether you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth or otherwise. Every man and woman's got a story. It's not all. It's never ever smooth sailing, guys. You don't learn to sail a boat by having smooth waters, right? And that's just how it is. Life's full of challenges. And it's how you adapt to them, right? And mental health's such a big issue, especially with young people when they're trying to find themselves, getting bullied and all sorts of things behind the scene that you never know about. Looking ahead, we've mentioned that. How can people watching out on this podcast and listening, how can they learn more about what your wonderful work and what you do? Toni, what's the best way to reach out to you?
So on all the social medias, I'm Pure Toni, PURETONI. And I also have a link on my website, BeHeard BeHealed.com. You can go to my calendar, book time with me. I'll make sure that link is right on the front page. It should be, but just make sure it's there. And just reach out. If you find me on socials, I'm there.
Love it. Before we wrap it up, which we're about to do, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people don't know.
So most people know that know me know I went to Rwanda in 2014 as part of my my psychology degree. I went for my internship there, and it was an experience like I've never had in my life. I left a little bit of my heart there, but we got to experience this bond that happened because of the genocide in Rwanda. And we went into the prison where, because of the genocide and children losing their parents, right?
Yes.
Women who were pregnant were allowed to keep their children with them until the age of 3 if they were incarcerated. And so we went to visit, and it took us hours to get in because they didn't know why most of us were white, why all these white people wanted to come to a Rwandan prison. Like, what was our mission? We had diapers, we had all kinds of things for them. And when they found out why we were there, they broke out in song, and you could hear it outside. And it was the one place on this trip that we could not bring cameras. But I will never forget the feeling. I'll never forget the faces. I'll never forget the dancing. Like, this room we were in was just full of people dancing and singing. And it was the most beautiful. Couldn't speak each other's language, but we had one thing: love.
Yeah.
And
that's
it's the thing that drives me. Yeah.
Yeah. I've had nothing like that, but I've had a little bit of experience on a similar ilk. My wonderful girlfriend, when I said, "What do you want for your birthday?" last year, she said, "I want to go to an old folks home and cheer them up. Like, we'll spend my birthday at an old folks home." And we went somewhere and we rang them up and said, "We'd like to buy them a meal. What's it cost?" It's about $500 or $600, which goes a long way in the Philippines. And there's about 100 people, and we turned up with some big cakes and we put on all the food for them. And mate, their face lit up. It was like, because some of these people were in their 80s and 90s, and they'd not had a visitor for years and years and years. So here we were, and a lot of them speak English, of course, being in the Philippines. They speak English quite well. You could sit there and listen to their stories, and they were just so grateful. They're reaching out, holding your hand. And it was an amazing experience. That's something I've never experienced before. And now we do it regularly every year on our birthdays. That's our thing. This year we're going to an orphanage, so we sort of muck it up.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's just going to be, we're going to take a couple of big teddy bears, like a big corporate teddy bear, and lots of food and fun and ice creams. It's going to be. I'm looking forward. It's going to be a lot of fun. And
amazing.
Like your experience, it's just something that it's part of life, isn't it? That's the other side of life.
Yeah. Connecting with other human beings without even knowing them there's nothing like it. I don't wear heart-shaped glasses for nothing. Like, I truly love with all of my being. With all of my being, I love people. So just sharing love is my biggest mission in life. So.
Been an awesome guest, Toni. I'm going to wrap it up now. So, guys, if you want to come on Stars on Spotlight and hear some awesome stories just like Toni here, and don't forget to reach out to her, guys. I'll say it again, and have a virtual cup of coffee. I had a good chat to her beforehand. She's a very interesting woman. But if you want to come on Stars on Spotlight, guys, reach out. Think about the publicity you're going to get. A TV commercial might set you back about $30,000, guys, and they might go to the loo or make a burger or make a coffee while the commercial's on, right? 10 radio spots in your city, probably going to set you back $3,000 to $5,000. And what happens? They play them at 1 o'clock in the morning when people are asleep. But with Stars on Spotlight, we put you across all the social media platforms, guys. Reddit, Quora, all the different stations, and LinkedIn and Facebook, and of course YouTube, with all your social media links, so potentially putting you in front of thousands of people so you can spread your message just like Tony's going to be doing. Toni, you've been an awesome guest today. Thanks for being on the show. Much appreciate you.
Thank you, my friend.